You little scamp. Do you know how much the core you took was worth? I stole it from the castle. 3 years it took me to get it. And now...
Please! She's barely 10 years old!
Silence! Stay out of it!
Oh!
If you die, it'll be as good as new. You brought this on yourself.
From now on, I'll protect you. I'll keep you safe. Always. My name is Jin. What's yours?
Laura.
It seems like sending Outcasts was the right choice. You alright?
I've been through worse. I can handle it.
Jin, I swear I'll make your dream come true. So stop putting yourself at risk.
There's still time.
Is that part of your dream, too? What are we, in the end? This hunger I feel, this thirst, is it really my own? Or is it someone else's? Sometimes I can't tell. Tell me, Jin, are you really here? I don't know where I really am.
You're starting to sound like a human.
Oh, yeah?
Perhaps we're not so different after all. Humans and blades.
What's the deal with this ceasefire?
A tribunal, it looks like. Praetor on Malthus is here in person. And who's going to argue with the Praetor?
Does he have any clue how many men we lost? If those Ardanians get away with this, Architect, damn it.
Quit your grumbling, mate. All this is way beyond our pay grade.
You got that right. We're all just faceless cannon fodder to the bigwigs. CO says jump, we jump.
Morning, folks. Everyone sleep well? Not a wink. Figured as much. Let's take a nice walk over to the hall where the emergency summit's being held. Clear our heads a little. Someone's gotta escort Morag over there, right? I think I would be perfectly capable of finding my own way. And Mithra's meant to be attending too, right? Apparently, yes. See? We might as well all head over. I guess you're right. Let's go then. What an intense start. We have this chapter opening on such an intense portrayal of some very real things. As someone who comes from, well, without getting into specifics, a certain family member who treated me very poorly, that scene really spoke to me and was very true to life in a very brutal way. It captured what it's like being that helpless perfectly. And then there was having the hope at the end of it represented by Jin's core crystal being the first color you see in that cutscene. Having the story here introduced by just regular people who we don't even know, seeing how it's affecting their lives as military personnel. Introducing a story like that, the director really knew what they were doing. This is by far the best start to any chapter at this point. It's artful. Through here is the venue for the Summit of Nations. I must apologize, but entry is forbidden to all but the official representatives of each nation. I guess this is as far as we go. Yes, Bridget and I will proceed to the summit. I'm coming with you. And so are you, Mithra, remember? I guess. I'm not sure I like it, but I suppose I have to play my part in all this. Rex, you head back to our chambers with the others and wait for us. No problems. Be careful in there, okay, Mithra? Don't worry, I'll handle this just fine.
My deepest thanks to you for agreeing to this ceasefire, Queen Rakura, Emperor Nile.
As I recall from the Assyrian treaty of 350 years ago, the Praetorium was to refrain from intervention in times of war. And yet here you are intervening. But I trust you have a suitable justification, Your Eminence.
Naturally. But first, to ensure impartiality in these negotiations, may I present Nira, acting chairman of the Argentum Trade Guild. Furthermore, representing the Tantalese, His Highness the Crown Prince Ozikairis Brunev Tantal will also be attending.
The Crown Prince? The prodigal Prince of Tantal.
What a spectacle! Seems the Praetor has as much clout around here as ever.
Could we not just take them out here and now?
Good point. All the principal nations' heads gathered here? It'd make things easy later.
The way to the World Tree must first be opened. Wiping out mankind is the easy part. We could manage that ourselves.
Even so...
That isn't our only goal, remember? We must wait for the stage to be set.
Is Jin serious about this?
Yeah. I've been wondering that myself.
Oh, he's serious. He always is. He will annihilate mankind, and then... he will kill the architect.
Now, it seems Mor Ardain has been accused of a unilateral breach of treaty in this matter. Emperor Nile, I open the floor to you. Is there anything you wish to say?
While we are still conducting investigations into the cause, it cannot be denied that weaponry belonging to our forces was discharged against Uriah. Regardless of any possible reason and circumstance, we are prepared to offer recompense for this grave offence.
So you want to settle this with money?
We will provide any compensation deemed necessary.
Perhaps I'm misunderstanding. To my ears, it sounds almost as if you mean to imply that the blame for these offences does not lie with your Majesty at all.
We are investigating. I ask that we not draw any hasty conclusions.
What need is there for investigation? I believe a cause has already been established. There are witnesses.
And that would be? What a preposterous notion. The people you speak of are merely a terrorist group. How could they possibly command that measure of...
It's the truth. I, Ozyclyrus, swear this in the name of King Eulogimenus Tantal.
Can confirm ex-Chairman Banner give these people some kind of supplies. Military supplies, methinks, and in great number, yes.
But why would...
What if I were to tell you that the Aegis Malus, who raised the world 5 centuries ago, was involved?
Ridiculous. Everyone knows he disappeared in a blaze of flame.
He's very much alive, believe me. That arsehole, the Aegis, has confronted us in person. And if my word is not enough for you...
A blade? But that core crystal...
This is another Aegis, named Mithra. Your Highness has heard of her, surely?
So the rumors that reached us were true. Who is its driver?
If you knew that, I dare say your surprise would be even greater. But that is not the matter we are here to discuss, Your Highness. This is a dire situation.
"6 o'clock already. Mithra's been in there for a long time now.
We've just got to trust them. They're dealing with the leaders of whole nations. It's not like there's anything you or me can do to help.
Ugh.
I've noticed something about Malos. He's an Aegis, but you wouldn't know it from how he's fighting. I'm pretty sure he's damaged in some way.
You mean he can't use the full extent of his powers?
The wounds I dealt in our battle long ago may not be completely healed. His end goal is Elysium. He wants to go back to the place he was born. There he can heal until his powers have recovered. If Malos is allowed to restore himself,
the horrors of 5 centuries past will return.
Or worse still, Malos' goal is simple. He means to destroy humanity in its entirety.
Why would anyone desire that?
Perhaps he doesn't even need a reason. It seems to be a deep-seated drive. An instinct. As natural as breathing.
All of this is my responsibility.
Praetor Amalthus? Whatever do you mean?
It was none other than I who awakened Malos and unleashed him upon the world.
So, Your Eminence, the rumor that you were once Malos's driver is...
I never intended to obscure the truth. It is writ plain for all to see in history books. I was a fool. It was to prevent such foolishness that all passage to the World Tree was forbidden after the Aegis War. However, it has become apparent that the laws of men do not apply to Malos. The time may have come to lift that restriction. I appreciate this.
Don't think you've earned my trust. But since Rex is going to Elysium, their paths are bound to cross. That's all.
I'm surprised. You seem so devoted to the boy.
It's for both our sakes. But you, Amalthus, who is it that you're living for?
Morning, folks. You're looking a bit better slept than yesterday. Pretty much. Fenn's state funeral is to be held today, is it not? Yeah. I think it was meant to be happening in Ceres Plaza, right outside the sanctum. You're gonna be alright, chum? Yes. It would be wrong for me not to. Ceres Plaza, very not far away. Time to go, quick. Master Pon's so bossy sometimes. Really quick to get it out of the way. Mithra standing around with Pyrrhus' sword on Rex's back. It burns. Happens sometimes when Rex is outside of the party because his default state has that sword on his back. I cannot believe that Lady Fan is gone. When she appeared with your good selves the other day, I had no idea that such a thing could come to pass. Indeed, I still struggle to believe it.
I guess they did call her a goddess. The state funeral makes sense. Shouldn't you be with him?
He's a boy. Best not to bother them at times like this.
I expected you to be more clingy. You really are different from her.
Actually, letting him be was more her idea than mine.
Really? Pyrrhus? Get out. So wait, you're saying you want to go be clingy, or what?
I'll burn you.
I kid. Sheesh. It's weird, though.
What is?
I mean, don't you think it's odd? Normally, if a blade or its driver dies, it'll just go back to being a core crystal. So why is Fan just dead?
I did wonder the same thing. There's only one way I know for a dead blade to keep its physical form. Remember Minoth? I mean Cole. He was a flesh eater.
Yeah.
But Fan wasn't a flesh eater. I can say that for sure.
What's that?
That's the shape of Fan's core crystal. Well, how it used to be.
But now it's a triangle.
Rex and I are quite a unique case, but this is different still.
How is it different?
If a blade shares its core with another, its shape changes in a uniform fashion. In our case, the center part went to Rex, and the outer part to us. I don't know why that is, but it seems to be a rule.
But Fan's isn't like that.
Exactly. It looks more like someone stole her core, doesn't it?
That was quite the grand funeral ceremony. It spoke volumes as to just how much Fan was loved by her people. The goddess of Indol won't be an easy position to replace. Hey Rex, what are you going to do from here on out? If we're going to reach the World Tree, we'll need the Praetor's help, but... Master Rex, there you are! Praetor Amalthus wishes to speak with you. He is waiting in the audience chamber. That's perfect timing then. Maybe he wants to talk about the World Tree? I'm afraid I cannot say. Well, there is only one way to find out. Let's get ourselves on over to the audience chamber then. Zeekmeister, you'd be the kind of guy to keep everyone's spirits up in a time like this. You lead the way. I see you pushing for everyone to go together as a group every time the subject comes up. And that's logic that I use too. If something tragic is going on, I always try to keep busy. Everyone handles it differently, of course, and doing nothing does feel better sometimes. But only doing nothing makes time feel like forever, and that isn't good for anyone. Of course, don't force yourself, but maybe try to do something if you just haven't done anything in a while, and see how it feels. You can always change your mind if it just doesn't stick.
My apologies. Did I keep you waiting?
No, not really. What were you doing?
I was cleansing the core crystals. It markedly increases their resonance success rate. Bonding with a crystal carries certain risks, you understand.
I know.
When I became the driver of an Aegis, this power was awakened in me.
So, I might be able to do it too?
Who knows? Different people are cut out for different things.
Right, yeah.
Now then, my work is done for the day. Come with me.
A special envoy? To Tantal? Me?
Correct. Behold. As a salvager, I imagine you are already aware, but this is Allrest, the world we currently inhabit. We make our home on Titans, moving in circles around the world tree. And here lies the Great Void. This void came into being 500 years ago. It did not exist prior to that.
So I've heard. It's in our way anyway. It stopped us reaching the world tree.
The Great Void is carved from the Cloud Sea by a monstrous beast known as Ophion.
Wait, you mean that thing?
To be precise, it is an artifice, a servant of the Aegis.
Of Mithra?
So if that thing is Mithra's, then what did it attack us for? Doesn't make sense.
Ophion was felled in the ancient battle with Malos, sinking below the clouds. This means someone must have revived it.
Correct.
And you're saying that someone was Zeke's home country, Tantal?
Yes. They gave Ophion one directive: to ensure that none approach the World Tree. They sought to prevent a repeat of the horrors of the Aegis War, so an obstacle was created, the Great Void.
How did they manage a feat like that?
As I've said, mankind is regressing. Only one artifact remains that can rescind Ophion's orders, and it lies in Tantal.
It's called the Omega Feta, and it's guarded by the royal family. I'll take you to it.
I've prepared your envoy documents already. Your quest is to set foot in Elysium, correct? Malos and his ilk will surely seek the Omega Feta for themselves. I would ask you to reach Elysium before they do, and inform me of what you find there. Do it as a favor for a once foolish old man, and so that people may have a future in this dying world.
So Zeke, you're gonna be guiding us to Tantal, right? Sure am! But let's head back to our chambers before we talk about it. This isn't exactly the place for discussing stuff. Back to our room. Got it. we are free to turn around and go into the Praetor's study, discovering this place as well for the first time. It's kind of an easily forgotten thing that I don't always remember, but discovering more and more locations does equal experience points at inns. That can be very good. Hector and Amalthus have new things. Now that the tension is released, thank you, Hector. To reach Elysium, we must first stop Ophion, the beast that carved the Great Void. And Ophion's directive was issued from Tantal, Zeke's homeland. I've prepared your envoy documents so that you may enter as representatives of Indol. I entreat you to reach Elysium before Malus. Do it as a favor to a once foolish old man. The word envoy is one that I've always had disagreements with, where because I learned French, I remember that I was pronouncing it as envoy because it's how it's pronounced there and that's its language of origin, but it is a word in English as well, envoy, so I've kind of been converted over the years. Pandoria lights up in the dark, actually. You can see that very well here in this hallway. It's quite pretty. It's been a lot of running back and forth across this beautiful plaza. We've seen it a few times, so I haven't made you watch every time. We prepared your rooms. I assume you'll be wanting to take your leave soon. Please, make sure you're well rested before you set out once more.
We can reach Tantal by ship, but once we're there, we'll need to do a spot of walking.
So we're travelling with Shell, dear? Never thought I'd see the day.
I think you'll find I make a fantastic ally.
Luck of Zeke not so great. Bet we shipwrecked by tomorrow.
Oh! Cheeky furball.
We're all gonna die.
Hey, Zeke. You said before that Torna concerned you too. What did you mean by that?
What? Oh, yeah, that. I don't know about those clans, but Torna, the country that fell 500 years ago, they were the ancestors of us Tantalese. The people of Tantal are descended from Adam, the hero of Torna who escaped its destruction.
So, after Pyra fell asleep, Adam escaped to Tantal?
That's right.
That is the first I've heard of it. I have studied much history, but this story never featured. Most peculiar.
We're humble. Don't really like to brag about it. The only real trace left is in this here sigil of the royal family.
So why did you awaken Hayes?
Because her power was of great use to me. Indol has found itself under attack from Torna a number of times. She was necessary in driving them back.
Really? Then why don't you seem to have any others? Blades, that is.
Driver though I may be, I am no fighter. Besides, I find the warrior monks here so reliable. They get the job done.
If you say so. I wonder, do you know why Torna are using the name of a dead country?
Jin was a blade of Torna once. Loyalty or nostalgia? Who can say? Perhaps both.
Is that really all there is to it?
You don't think so?
I don't know much about what happened while I slept. There are no written records, either. All we have is stories passed down.
And you think that is insufficient? History is a murky thing. Only those present can truly know what took place.
But weren't you one of those present?
And that is why I offer you my cooperation.
I guess we'll find out if we go to Tantal.